Hello everybody, I am the bad nextbot 8000. I am making this video for someone in particular. I'm not going to name any names. You know exactly who you are. Watch this video, you goof. Hey, now today I'm going to teach you how to make a navigational mesh for Garry's mod. Or Navemesh for short. Ugh. Or duh. Let's get started, shall we? Now you might already know that if you hit nav_generate in the developer console, whoop, Garry's mod will automatically make you a nav mesh. There we go. Yep, good old nav mesh. Yes, good old nav mesh. If your map is flat enough and all of the rooms are openly connected and stuff, you might be able to get away with just typing in nav generate and boom bada bing, you're done. The automatic nav generator even included the invisible slant stair thingy. Yay! Stair clipping. Stair clipping. Now let's say you have a map that is stupid. Stupid. That's mean, I'm sorry. And let's say you have an old map and it will not generate a navigational mesh for some reason. Here, let me clean this up. There we go. Hit nav generate. No valid walkable seat positions. Cannot generate navigation mesh. Why? Now, to enable nav editing mode or whatever it's called, go into the developer console, clear, and nav edit 1. This will create a little target crosshair thingy-madingy. Now do not worry, pressing all of the buttons won't ruin everything. You can press the use key, primary fire buttons, no clip. Whee! I highly recommend you use no clip of this thing. And yippity do that. Nav mark walkable. Here we have this purple triangle. Yes. Now if we hit nav generate incremental, blip, da da da, and there we go. We have a giant circle of nav mesh. Yes. Like a big old circle. So, yep. If you don't have any third-party nav editing tools, you're gonna have to boop, boop, boop. Yeah, you're gonna have to type in nav mark walkable everywhere. Now let's say you don't want to do all that. Alrighty. Now let's say you don't want to mark every single place. Let's say you want to just mark a nice little square area. Just type in nav begin area. Ignore my attempts at a trial and error. And then we do this. Whee! We make the square big, nice and big. And go from one end of the area to the other. And da. Let's say this is a good spot. Then we type in nav end area. Yay! One big gigantic square. One big rectangular square. Yay! And let's say you don't want to spend 30 minutes trial and erroring the developer console. Let's say you got yourself a good old third-party item like Rupet's nav mesh editing tool. So that way you don't have to type in developer consoles commands every 15 minutes or something. Blah. Now since this is Garry's mod, and there's like a lot of options, you're only gonna need like 1 to 2 things from this. If you're using Rupet's easy nav mesh editor, I would highly recommend you turn off quick up at worst generation. you mark down a walkable area and hit generate new navigation mesh with this off. Boop! God. Yay! And now the navigation mesh isn't one big circle. It actually fills in the entire area. Yay! But hark! We are not finished. We only done half the battle. Here we have this area. And my goodness! There is no nav mesh. My goodness! There's no navigation area. Blah! So yeah, this is where the third-party tool comes in. I am certain, if not confident, you can do this with the developer console, but I would highly recommend you use Rupat's Easy Nav Mesh Editor. It's easy. Now, will this what I do? Will this do what I think it does? Boop. Yep, it does what I think it did. Now, there is an issue every time you start a new nav generation. Right, now every time you hit generate a new navigation mesh or nav generate in the developer console, it will remove old data. So we have no navigation mesh here. We have a navigation here. The maze is complete, in fact. Completely filled in. Yay. But if I go out here, no nav mesh. And this is why you should use both the developer console and the easy nav mesh editing tool. Nav, generate incremental, boink, blah. So that way, old data won't get deleted. Yeah, this is still here, and this is still here. Yay. Now the developer console is screaming at me, the nav mesh needs a full nav analyze. If I type in nav analyze, it will quote unquote finalize the nav mesh. So yep. And that is how you make a nav mesh, navigational mesh. If the map is flat and simple, you can get away with just typing in nav generate. But if it's weird like MF Black Mesa Puzzle Lily, yeah, you're gonna run into some issues. But that's okay. As long as you know how to use the easy nav mesh editing tool and the developer console in combination or whatever, you can do anything. Bah! Yeah, you can even fill in the skybox. Bah! Fill in weird geometry. Let's see how bad this nav mesh is going to be. Now, I am definitely skipping some stuff like making ladders into navigation stuff. Blah. But how often do you find a nextbot climb ladders? They do that all by themselves. If you want to add ladders, go right ahead. I will teach you that once this navigational mesh generates. Thank you. Good lord. Alright, now skybox. How bad? Not terrible. Holy balls. Reminder, turn off quicker per worse generation. Now there are two different kinds of ladders. Brush ladders and regular ladders, question mark. Now with brush ladders, you can just type in quick ladder flip. Boink. Yay, we now have a ladder. Yay. Alrighty, now here you have a regular ladder. Now you can't do the quick flip thingy with this one. Nope. You'll have to use the create ladder thingy. Thank you. Sweet mother of God, why is it so hard to make a stupid ladder? That took way too long. Why did I pick this map in particular? The only map that I know that had a ladder. Alrighty, now that's how you make a navigational mesh. Yep. Don't bother checking what I missed. How often do you see a nextbot climb ladders? Hey, now thank you all so much for watching! Like making your own navigational mesh all by yourself from here on out. If you like making your own navigational mesh from here on out. God. I feel like I know this way. Very well, my people. Figured. Blah. Happy birthday, dude. I don't know when your birthday is, but happy friggin' birthday. Blah.